Waldo Politics is now live streaming. Just chatting. Have we found the Joe Rogan of the left? You won't believe who it is. Getting started soon. Hop into chat. Tell me what you are thinking.
Oh, hi. How you doing? My name is Waldo, and I'm here to feel the politics with you. How is everybody today? I am doing great, thank you. It's sunny out there, as you can see. The grotesque Daystar remains out there behind me. What is it? It's like 78 degrees in here right now. Earlier today in Waldhouse, as it's known, it got up to 80, which is too many degrees. Honestly, that's just too many degrees. So yeah, it's cooling off as the grotesque Daystar goes down behind me. It's always I like it going down behind me. It makes me look cool. But so yeah, it's a nice sunny day, and I hate it. All the rest earlier through the week, it was nice and cloudy. Fantastic, dude. On Monday, it was like 50 degrees outside. It was great. I want it to be cloudy and like 55 every day, all day. No sun. That's just me. Anyway, how are you? An actual cloud. Hi, glad you're here. It bothers me slightly that Epstein thing was detracting from all the other awful Trump acts. Overall, I guess it's good, but it's annoying. I dig that. He is doing awful things everywhere all the time, and I'm glad something finally stuck. You know, it doesn't matter all the other awful things. His base doesn't give a shit about all those other awful things. They don't care how awful those other things are. But this one they care about. For some reason. You're in favor of clouds too. Well, good. I'm glad. I wish you were around more often. Uh, so, yeah. What the hell? Okay. What's with the stream title? Stream title today. I think we've done it. I think we've found the Joe Rogan of the left. Lots of people have been looking for him. Or her. We're woke over here, you know. Or they. It's woke. Okay. We're woke. We're okay. Don't cancel me. But I think we finally found him. And I'm going to reveal it to you toward the end of the stream. So you have to stick around and you have to watch the whole thing and you have to keep chatting and telling me what a smart and great boy I am. So we're gonna take a look at Mehdi Hassan. I know it was Sunday. That was a fucking million years ago in internet time, but I haven't streamed since then. So I really should stream 7 or 8 times a week, but I just don't have that kind of time. So I'm going to look at the interesting thing that happened with Mehdi Hassan and when he talked to a Nazi at Jubilee, and then I'll talk about that, and then we'll check out on all of the Epstein stuff, and then I'll point out, and then I'll bring up the new who I suggest should be the Joe Rogan of the left. It will be a good time. It will be a fun time. So stick around, hop in the chat, tell me what you're thinking, tell me what you're feeling. Go on over to the Discord link, which is right here. There's the Discord link. You can go in there and you can argue with people. You can debate people on there. And if you go into Twitch chat,
Robot.
a lovely lady robot will read your texts out loud. So go on over there and do that. You could go to Kick too, but it's legal to go to Kick, but I don't know if you'd want to. It's a dangerous place over there. But if you really, really hate Jeff Bezos and you don't want to give him any Twitch money, you can go to kick.com. It's very fun. It's kind of sketchy over there, so be careful. And yeah, and then YouTube. I got a YouTube channel there too. So go on over to the YouTube channel, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, give me a plus, ring the bell, break the comment button, flame somebody in the comments and all that fun stuff. So let's get started. Enough with the preamble, enough with the junk. Let's get started with what I think is very interesting. A guy named Mehdi Hassan. He is a very cool guy who does cool things. He went on a very uncool YouTube channel called Jubilee. Jubilee is slop. Honestly, it's bad. It's real bad. Okay, they get like a handful of people, and then the people that they hate the most, and then they make them talk at each other, and then they usually just yell and gripe at each other and talk past each other, and then at the end they interview them, and then nothing happens, and it's usually something like 10 He-Man woman haters and then 10 super feminazis, and then they just talk past each other and it doesn't make any sense. It's not good. debate. They're not. I mean, yeah, he's bad. They're just not doing a good job. I don't think you should ever watch them. The things that they are pushing are not sensible debate. I'm being entirely honest with you all the time. I'm sarcastic and jokey sometimes, but the people who go on from the right aren't being genuine with you. They're liars.
It's for farming dunking videos. Each side gets to milk content from them.
Exactly. The right will take Mehdi Hassan saying that he does X and supports immigration, and then they will say, look at this is socialist libtard, and then they'll make their own videos just sort of like what I'm doing now. And then the left will go and point at all the Nazis, which I'm about to point at, and say, hey, look at this Nazi, don't talk to Nazis. But yeah, we should stop doing the thing. But I don't know how to stop doing the thing without pointing this out. So I'm just going to point this one out, and we're going to listen to a little bit of this guy talking for a minute. He is, why would I talk about it? Not because it's hot and exciting. It's because it feeds into the ideas that I've been trying to cultivate, the ideas that I've been trying to push, and the thoughts that I've been having for a while. So, and he's incredibly relevant right now. So this is a bad guy talking to a leftist. So let's go.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Mehdi, lovely to meet you.
So I would say that with Trump being anti-constitution, I don't really care, to be quite frankly.
Okay.
Because
He doesn't mind Donald Trump being anti-constitution. It's a weird thing for somebody to say, but okay.
in regards...
And some of these people are happy with him. They're like, yeah, abandon that Constitution, baby. Let's get rid of that shit. Shit is 250 years old. Get out of here.
In regards to the Constitution is a document that should seek to serve us.
Yes.
And when it fails to seek to serve us, that can be amended. Laws can be changed. And quite frankly, the fact is, we're
This
defending
guy
things
is
in this
totally
country.
mask off.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's how
yes.
they really feel.
Yeah, and he's describing a living document, which I don't know if you guys remember, but I used to sometimes talk to a guy on this channel named Thomas, and he would tell me it's not a living document, and he hated any time I called it a living document. I don't know if I can watch too much of these right wingers. Well, we're only going to get about 5 minutes of this guy, and then I'm going to pop off on him.
That shouldn't be defended. The First Amendment should not defend pornography and making children and women be victimized. Making women and children be victimized.
All of these people look at porn constantly.
As a result of that. I think things like blasphemy shouldn't be allowed per the First Amendment.
Blasphemy should not be allowed. I'm not allowed to tell you that there is no God. That is a crime. He thinks I just committed a crime. Okay. This guy does not hold anything. He holds too much sacred. Not. I hold nothing sacred. He holds everything sacred, but only his stuff. It's weird.
I think that, quite frankly, there are a lot of legal processes that are enabling criminals and bad people to fully enact their will in this country in the name of the Constitution or following the Constitution. So,
Sky Wizard
quite
sees
frankly,
you, Waldo.
if Trump is anti-Constitution, good, and I think he should go further.
So,
They're so excited. God, they're so on board with this guy. They love it. Look at him. He's so excited. Get rid of the Constitution, baby. Yeah.
this is wonderfully revealing of the modern conservative mindset. So I appreciate you spelling it out so openly. Just checking, do you support the Second Amendment?
I do.
Okay.
That one's fine. That's a good one. We're on board for that one.
Surprise, I was shocked to hear that. I'm saying that Donald Trump is defying the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. He's thinking of defying the 12th and 22nd Amendments. You're saying you don't care about the Constitution, but actually you do because you quite like the Second Amendment. You just don't like the bits that you disagree with. Can I just be clear on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm more than willing to amend it and include
Whenever
the
it's in
Second
your
Amendment.
favor.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So can Democrats do the same when they're in office?
No, absolutely not.
No. No, they're not allowed to do that. I'm allowed to change the law to benefit me, but you're not allowed to change the law to benefit you. gross. You're not me. I'm the main character. I'm the guy who's in charge of everything. I'm the smartest guy I've ever met. Okay? So I get to change the laws anytime I feel like it. You see? My parents were wrong and I was right. And then when I became a parent, I was right and my children were wrong.
So you don't believe in democracy?
No, I don't. Absolutely not.
No democracy. No, absolutely not, says this guy. Okay.
What do you believe in?
Autocracy.
He's an autocrat. That's a bad thing. He knows that word off the top of his head. Y'all, the normies don't know the word autocracy off the top of their head. They don't. They don't know what that word means. They've heard it probably from some jackass at a party or something like that, or some shithead on TV, or piece of shit live streamer like me. But they don't know what the word autocracy means.
Step on me harder, daddy guy.
Absolutely. He doesn't know what the word, normies don't know what the word autocracy means. This guy does. He knows exactly what it means because he went to shitty websites, Twitter, mostly, I would imagine, and far right-wing image boards and stuff to learn these things because he is an extremist. He is a radical right-wing extremist, and he's about to blow your mind, maybe. I don't know.
By who?
Honestly, quite frankly, anyone who is in line with Catholic teaching.
Donald Trump is not Catholic.
Catholic. He wants a Catholic king. What the hell? And I do not believe he was raised Catholic. He changed to being a Catholic as an adult because of the very restrictive nature of it. It has a lot of rules. It has a lot of laws. And it's the favorite religion of the far right now because it's old. It's really old. It's not a new thing. It's not like the Church of Scientology or Mormonism, which only came up a couple of hundred years ago. Catholicism is very old. It's very classical. I mean, you can look at the Sistine Chapel or Notre Dame or any of those things and feel like it's old and been around a long time. J.D. Vance used to be an atheist, but he has converted as an adult to Catholicism because it gives him the most money, most power. That's it. That's why this guy's doing it too. He's not doing it because he feels something inside of himself. No, it's just the most punitive. It's the most damaging of the white religions. So that's the one he chooses.
Of course, he's not. I completely agree, and that's part of the problem.
Trump? You don't support Trump?
No, I don't. I didn't even vote for him. I wrote in like John Pork or someone. I can't even remember.
John Pork. He wrote in John Pork. Okay.
Why did you vote if you don't believe in democracy and you want autocracy?
Well, because quite frankly, I voted. I kind of voted just to.
I came with this argument, but I'm bored of my own argument. I'm much more interested in this. So
yeah, absolutely.
How do we?
So this guy starts interviewing the Nazi. Now, is Mehdi Hassan, as my stream title would suggest, the Joe Rogan of the left? No, he's not. I baited you, and he's not the Joe Rogan of the left. We will get to the new Joe Rogan of the left later in the stream, but it's not Mehdi Hassan.
Get to an autocracy.
I think, quite frankly, that if we are able to enact local leaders,
who is the we, by the way?
I think, quite frankly, these far right conservatives sitting right around
white
me.
people.
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
So,
well, actually, I have quite.
Some of the people in this room don't make the cut from what I can see visually.
Actually, hold on for a moment. I do think that there are people who happen to not be white who do actually have history in this country and have roots in this country. For instance, from the Mexican-American War, we subsumed a lot of territory of people who have far stakes in this country who happen to be Hispanic or what have you. I'm for defending the traditional demographics of this country.
Traditional demographics. You'll never guess what that definition means. It means whatever the fuck he wants it to mean. It doesn't have to mean anything specific. He will pick and choose who's traditionally American based on his feelings, his vibe check. He will vibe check everybody that he looks at. And if they look a little bit too Middle Eastern-y, you're not traditionally American. Doesn't matter how many hundreds of years your family's been in this country. You gotta go. Okay. He vibe checked you, and that's the law now. There aren't any things written down. We don't have rules and laws that are apply to everyone equally. No. This guy and his autocracy just get to vibe check everybody.
Which is majority white, so and should stay that way.
How does the United States, I mean, we've gone so off topic, but how does the United States look like under you? Sorry, what's your name?
My name is, my name's Connor.
You see how he wanted to, like, not know if his name was out there? He's worried. He's like, oh shit. My name is waldospoliticalstream.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Took a little bit of a doubt there.
Oh, well, I use a pseudonym online,
fair enough,
but fair enough.
So he doesn't get fired from his job for being a giant super bigot. He's about to get fired. Wait for that.
How would Connor's America look? What would it look like?
Well, quite frankly, I think we would deport people who shouldn't be here.
No, I didn't ask about deporting. What does the government look like?
What does the government look like?
Yeah.
I would say, quite frankly, it's under a sort of benevolent leader, such as
Where does he
Franco.
come from?
It could be a kind of aristocratic class. Could be
the aristocratic class will simply choose. The aristocrats will choose who gets to be the king. Boss, Connor, listen. We fought a whole revolution about that. Your forefathers were kind of unhappy with the idea of an aristocrat choosing their laws for them willy-nilly. They didn't like that. So they rebelled. They fought an entire revolution against our aristocracy that was telling them what to do on a regular basis. He doesn't know that. He doesn't understand history. He just feels his feels.
Be someone
who picks the autocrat?
Frankly, the people. I mean, we could hold a vote on it. Kings were
isn't that democracy?
Well, sure. You can have a vote to get to that stage.
And then no more votes afterwards.
Absolutely.
And then no more votes afterward. That's it. One more vote, you guys. We'll just let whoever wins be in charge forever. And then his kids will be in charge, and his kids after that, and then the grandkids and the grandchildren after that can all just be in charge because we've made the decision. You see?
Wow.
100%.
Wow. And if that autocrat kills you and your family, you're fine with that?
Well, I'm not going to be a part of the group that he kills because
he's not going to kill me. That leopard won't eat my face. I'm a white Catholic. Nothing bad has ever happened to them. Nothing has ever happened wrong to a white Catholic. Nobody's ever gone and harmed them. He'll be fine.
That's the whole thing.
How do you know? Autocrats tend to kill everyone, even their own supporters.
Makes this point very well in his work. It's the friend-enemy distinction, right?
Carl Schmitt, the Nazi theoretician.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't care.
Are you a fan of the Nazis?
I frankly don't care being called a Nazi at all.
I didn't say that.
He's a Nazi, you guys. Hooray!
I didn't actually say that. I said, are you a fan of the Nazis?
Well, they persecuted the church a little bit. I'm not a fan of that, but...
What about the persecution of the Jews?
Well, I mean, I certainly don't support anyone's human dignity being assaulted. I'm a Catholic.
But you don't condemn Nazi persecution of the Jews?
I think that there was...
She's like, are we really going to sit here and listen to this Nazi? Like, are we all Nazis, right?
A little bit of persecution and
we
stuff
may
like
have
that,
to
which is
rename
bad,
this show because you're a little bit more than a far-right Republican.
Hey, what can I say?
I think you can say, I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
They are all Nazis.
Hooray! Ha, 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 I'm a fascist. Hooray! Yay! Says the guy. He's a fascist. He knows he is. And he's laughing. He's having a good time with it because he doesn't care about anything.
Absolutely.
They're all clapping.
I'm just checking who's clapping just to get my set of where everyone is on this. Because you know that millions of people are going to be watching you on YouTube and checking out who the fascists and the Nazis are.
I'm not ashamed of that whatsoever.
No, clearly
He's about to be ashamed, you guys. Stick with me for another 10 minutes or so. We're going to see that he's ashamed.
During the pre-war period, prior to World War II, it was only those parties that properly enacted the people's will. That's why they won. The conservatives were fat cats.
Because he thinks he's part of an in-group.
Killing people who aren't like you.
quite frankly, I'm not. If
You mentioned Franco earlier. Franco killed a lot of innocent people.
Oh, well, he killed communists. He killed people who raped.
No, those are communists. Those are not innocent people. You fool. You rube. You ignorant libtard. Those were communists. Those were not innocent people. There's no such thing as an innocent communist. What you see is, yeah, exactly. This guy's all over the place. He's only on for a few more minutes. Then I'm going to rant about it. And then we're going to look at the consequences of his horrible, horrible antisocial behavior he's got going on right here.
Nuns and killed priests.
What about children who he killed and women who he killed?
What are you talking about? He never killed any women or children. He was Catholic.
He did. He killed lots.
Yeah, he only killed combatants.
150,000 people.
The White Terror was only punishing those people who did acts of terrorism. And again, are you supporting like raping innocent women? Nuns, dude. Killing priests? I mean, priests don't brandish guns and kill people.
You just refuse to condemn the Nazi Holocaust, my friend. I don't think you're in a position to ask anyone any questions.
I quite frankly don't care what you think about me. If I'm a Nazi and being a Nazi,
is mutual,
and being a Nazi means upholding human dignity, because I even believe in your dignity. I don't. In a state that I was running, I wouldn't want to hurt you or anything like that. But quite frankly,
I don't debate fascists.
I don't debate fascists. Fantastic. Well done, sir. I don't debate fascists.
Okay. So do you concede then? I mean, why?
Do I concede you're a fascist who won't condemn the Nazis?
Yeah.
Yes, I concede that.
Okay, great. So
accept your apology.
What are we doing here? Because I mean, you just seem offended.
What you're doing here,
you just seem offended, to be quite frankly. Like
I'm offended by people who can't condemn the Nazis. Yes, I am.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Well, I condemn the evils that they did, but I don't really care about being. Yeah, sure.
I don't see how he throws out communists in place of bad people.
I never called you a Nazi. You called yourself a Nazi, a fascist, and a General Franco supporter.
Well, yeah, I am a General Franco supporter. He was awesome. He was so super cool, quite frankly.
He murdered lots and lots of people based on the ideas that they had.
Because the whole thing.
And you don't believe in democracy.
I don't believe in democracy.
What are you doing here at a televised debate? This is democracy. Not what a debate and disagreement.
Because it is the means to support an end. The reason we have free speech now is because we want to be openly talking about our opinions so we can get the state that we want. But it doesn't mean upholding free speech after we win. Again, I mentioned...
It doesn't mean upholding free speech after we win. After he gets the benevolent dictator who is put in there by the aristocracy, he doesn't have to uphold the freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is over and done with. We got what we wanted. You see, we don't need freedom of speech after that, says this crazy person who gets to be on TV and is about to have a giant lucrative media career. We don't need it after that. Say whatever you have to say to get the people in place so that you can take over the entire government, have the aristocracy put the God King Emperor in place, probably Trump, maybe not, well, it depends, a Catholic superpower. And then we don't need the First Amendment anymore. It's done. It's over. We're at the end of the game. We're at the end of history. We win. Game is over. I've checkmated your king with my queen and pawns. The game ends. We don't need any more game. They don't need rules after the game is over.
The good thing about this fascist moment we're in is that you guys are so open about it.
The whole reason I mentioned
the quiet part loud.
The whole reason I mentioned Carl Schmitt earlier, and you kind of blew past him, is the friend-enemy distinction. Even liberals, when they take power, they want to enact policies and they want to enact protections for their people and their ideas, and they're willing to punish their enemy. And so I'm the same way. I'm like, hey, if you're going to punish me, I'm going to get in power and I'm going to
punish me. That's an interesting phrase. What does he mean by punish me? He means when the normal people tell him to stop being an asshole, he's being punished. When people say he can't use the N-word, he's being punished. When he sees a trans person on television, he's being punished. When he goes on Twitter and says, I just saw a tranny and it made me fucking puke, people yell at him and call him a bigot. That's him being punished. When he goes into a public place and sees two men holding hands who have been married by the state, and then he screams about how they're going to burn in hell, the people tell him to stop being an asshole, and that is him being punished. Anytime he sees a thing that he doesn't like, it's some sort of punishment to him. And so because of all that punishment that the world has heaped upon him, He can now return that vengeance at everyone.
To frankly punish you when you try to leverage power against me. Just that simple.
I'm not sure what
Instead of introspection, it's turned into anger.
Hey, it is what it is.
All right.
And then they've got rid of him. They voted him away because, and I don't want to watch too much more of that because they will monetize. They monetize that content. If you want to watch it, you can go to their channel. It was Jubilee. There was nothing. There was no jubilation to be had there at all. I think it's a misnomer of a title, honestly. But yeah, go on over to Jubilee if you want to watch all that. That's probably the worst part. There are some racists before then. There are some racists after that. There are some very, very, very misguided, like there was a guy from Iran who was like still on the right, and they said that these people around me aren't going to deport me. And then they were like, yeah, dude, we're totally going to deport you. And he's like, no, they won't deport me. I'm one of the good ones. And they're like, no, we want to deport you right now. It's a mess. But you can't be on the right and completely logical. You can't. There is a bunch of mind-bending, altering, twisting, and bend over backwarding that your brain has to do to be on the right, or else you wouldn't be on the right. You'd leave it. So what I wanted to say was, is he right to say, I won't debate a fascist? I think he is right. I think that is an actual solid position. That guy we saw, his name was Connor. Did you check out the Hunter interview? Yeah, we're going to look at that here in a few minutes. What you see is that's going to be the next interview that we look at. We're going to do this, then we're going to do some Epstein stuff, and then we're going to look at the Hunter interview. Just not all of it, again, because I don't want to get copyright striked, but we will look at that here in a few minutes. Connor does not respect debate. He doesn't respect your words or your positions. He doesn't give a damn about any of them. He doesn't respect your laws or the Constitution. He said he wanted to get rid of the Constitution and replace it with just whatever the hell he feels like. That guy will use the power of free speech to force you to shut up. He will use his freedom of religion to give himself special rights, privileges, and immunities. And then he will turn your religion. He will use your religion to make you a second-class citizen. Conservatives used to piss and moan about this all the time. They used to freak out about, what was the thing? Sharia law. Sharia law is coming to America. The Muslims are going to install judges, and they will enact Sharia law. And then you'll have to be a religious law rather than the regular law. This guy wants Sharia law, but just for Catholics. That's what he wants. No more porn, no more divorce, absolutely no abortions, no gay stuff ever, unless it's him. He's allowed to do it, but he's special. You know, he can handle that kind of shit. You can't. So religious law, Sharia law, just but for Catholics. He will use his Second Amendment to take your guns away. Conservatives, please listen to me. If an autocrat gets in charge, they will use their Second Amendment rights to take your guns away. The left doesn't do that. We would suggest having a few more steps before you're allowed to own a gun and not giving them to crazy people and not letting criminals have them. But you can't see the fucking difference. He will try to control every part of society and call it freedom. He'll kill you for minor disagreements and call it liberation. He will violently install a dictator and call it democracy. He is the party member from 1984, the novel. I know people don't read novels anymore, but that is what he is. He is a member of the party from the 1984 novel. They weren't... the people, I know reading is dumb and nobody should do it, but I have read it. And in that novel, the people, the party members didn't live great lives. They weren't the cream of the crop. They didn't jet set around the globe and hobnob and drink champagne. They just had a little fraction of a better life than the proles. That's all they had. They had the bottom, the people at the bottom. Then they were the working class. They were the working poor. They were miserable. They lived in squalid little conditions, but there was lots of them, and they just didn't get out. They did their job. They came home. They made lots of babies. They were just living a bottom rung life, you know. There was some evidence that they were happy and could sing songs and enjoyed themselves and stuff like that, living in a poor life, but they were basically the slaves. Then above that, there was the party members, the regular working class, and then above that was the higher party members. The higher party members were only like a percentage slightly better than the regular people. They weren't there to make everybody's lives better. They did everything they could to make sure they stayed on top, even if on top is only 6 inches above the mud and the muck and the shit. They don't care. So this guy is just the worst. No amount of public debate will change his mind. He needs to be shunned, ignored. All decent people should stop debating him, stop following him, shame him, and shame anyone who's associated with him. Since this video went live, he has lost his job. That's good news. I'm glad that happened. Self-described fascist begs for donations after claiming viral debate got him fired. So and I'm on board for this. Guys, I'm not kidding. I'm not hiding the fact. I'm happy the fascist got fired. And I support that idea. Fascism should not be tolerated. So let's read. He also declared that he didn't care about being called a Nazi during a YouTube video and racked up millions of views. Yeah. A man who admitted to being fascist during a debate claims he's been fired from his job, sharing his traditional right-wing political views. Those are not traditional right-wing political views, Connor. That is fascism. He's now asking for handouts. The man who identified himself as Connor in fundraising asked for donations to use the pseudonym Pine Sap as one of the 20 far-right conservatives, blah, 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 blah. We all saw all this. He identified himself as a Catholic and also complained that the Nazis persecuted the church a little bit. They persecuted the church a little bit. That's why he's not happy with them. Not the whole 6 million dead people. No, that's fine. That's just a whoopsie doodle, according to him. Let's skip. We already watched it. Connor now claims he was fired for his views and has launched a fundraising page on Give Send Go. That's a Christian crowdfunding site, which is the best place to get money, I suppose, if you're a Nazi. I'm raising money as an emergency fund and for other expenses while I look for a new job. It reads, unfortunately, voicing fully legal traditional right-wing political views results in real consequence. Yes, it does, Connor. Telling us that you're a fascist does actually have real consequences. He is getting a bunch of donations in actual cloud. He is. This is cancel culture and political discrimination on full display. It is cancel culture and it is discriminatory. But why is that okay? Because his entire ideology is discrimination. The page has already blown past its original $15,000 goal and hit it just under $20,000 as of Tuesday morning. So he made $20,000 off this that he doesn't have to pay. He probably has to pay taxes a little bit, but not much. Okay, so this is one of his donors said, I'm going to put on my redneck voice for this, but we need a white nation, and it's our only future. Viva la fascisme. That was the donor who contributed $88, 88 being the far-right code symbol used by neo-Nazis and white supremacists, which stands for Heil Hitler, as H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. So he is a fascist. He was glad to be one. He said so into a TV camera. He got fired. He went on a begging site, and a bunch of white nationalists have given him some money. See, now what we need to do is find out who gave him money, name them and shame them so that they lose their jobs too. I'm not even kidding. I'm not being facetious. I want these people to suffer social consequences for their antisocial behavior. Seems obvious, doesn't it? That antisocial behavior would lead to social repercussions. Makes sense. it's similar to being banned from a Discord server. If you come into my Discord server and post a bunch of gore images, I will ban you. That's all there is to it. Is that censorship? Yes. Is it discrimination? Yes. If for some reason I thought you were just misguided or made a mistake, I could take that into consideration. His employer could do the same thing. They could look at what he's done for them, ask the people around him if they feel like he's a problem, if they should keep him, and they could have been allowed to defend him. That would not have been illegal. But then I would have criticized them, and they didn't want that. So they fired him, which is entirely their choice. I respect that choice. If you go on to a live stream and tell people what you think, the company can fire you for it. My company could fire me for saying the things I'm saying right now. I accept that. But because I'm awesome and cool and here to help people and not push fascism, they probably won't. And he's crying about censorship. They're whining and bitching and complaining as usual about censorship. We are rising and must look after one another, another anonymous donor said while chipping in $15. Connor discussed getting fired without naming the company or his job title during the appearance on the Rift Report podcast on Monday, whatever the hell that is, probably full of Nazis. Well, unfortunately, I lost my job as a result, and no one really is to blame for that. Oh, you're to blame for this. Connor, you lost your job for the things that you did. You are to blame. It's just a culture that kind of exists currently surrounding the manner in which you are canceled for voicing any heterosexual Christian sort of moral belief that goes beyond sort of secularism and the relativism that we're so used to in our time. Your antisocial, pro-discrimination stance made people not want to associate with you. That makes sense. They shouldn't associate with you because you're clearly a bad guy. You are a bad person. I don't want good things for you. I'm sorry. I want you to have the freedom to change and become a better person. I want you to lament all of these bad things that are happening to you and think maybe, contemplate why the people are calling you an asshole. If somebody calls you an asshole, I really do want you to contemplate. Why did they say that? Is it correct? Does it make sense? Did I do something that an asshole would do? You did, Connor. You can change. That's the great thing about people. They can get better. Are you going to get better, Connor? I don't think he is. I think he's going to double down. He's going to triple down. He's going to try and pivot to a nice, lucrative YouTube podcast career where he spits venom, violence, and hatred. And then the people who love that shit will pay him for it. Because the algorithms are powered by hatred. They really are. That video we just watched got lots more views than I'll ever get. That one video. And it's just filled with hatred. That is what gets the people in the door. That's what gets the butts in the seats. That's what gets the clicks. Hatred. Do not tolerate fascism. Do not tolerate fascists. Mehdi Hassan is right not to debate him. That was, in this very small little setting that we saw, the social consequence to his anti-social actions. He said he's a fascist. He brought up a bunch of Nazis, and Mehdi Hassan said, I will not debate with you. And then the consequence, Hassan won't debate him. Consequence, he gets voted off the stage. Consequence, people start investigating him and doxing him. Consequence, he loses his job. Reward, however, with GoFundMe money from other fascists. And he's going to pivot to a media career that he can make more and more and more and get more money from these other fascists. That way he can spout his intolerant ideology on Kick or Rumble or wherever they appreciate that kind of shit. And that sucks. But if the people are watching and donating to him, are also facing those social repercussions, they might not openly support it. If you knew somebody was a Nazi and you told them that that wasn't okay and that you would not tolerate them, you would not let them near your kids, you would not let them in your home, you would not associate with them at work, you would not hire them.
I hope not. Dude looks like a used diaper.
Oh, he's coming. He's going to be all over the place. I'm not going to watch him, but somebody is. He might become a lolcow or a thing that I have to pay attention to sometimes, but probably not. The people who donated to him would hate it if their names were released, wouldn't they? If we found out exactly, and then the company knows exactly who these people were. It came from a bank account to go to his bank account. We know exactly who those people are. The people that raised $20,000 for him. We know who they are. We could find that out. They're not going to tell us because it would ruin their company, their GoFundMe style business would be ruined by that. But if we knew, then we could all shun them together. The reason the Klan wears masks is so they don't have to face the social repercussions, the social consequences. They would lose their jobs. Intolerance is the only thing that we should not tolerate. I'm not calling for the cancellation of everyone and everything that disagrees with me. If I have a different idea about a tax structure than you do, that doesn't mean that you're a Nazi and I have to cancel you. No. Just intolerance. That's it. That's what we need to be banning. That's what we're not banning, but socially ostracizing. That's what we need to be getting away from. Intolerance. There is actually a name for this kind of shit. The paradox of tolerance. This guy, Connor, we just watched, has an entire Wikipedia page about him right here. The paradox of tolerance is a philosophical concept suggesting that if a society extends tolerance to those who are intolerant, like Connor, it risks enabling the eventual dominance of intolerance, just like Connor and his theoretical Catholic super king, thereby undermining the very principle of tolerance. This paradox was articulated by Karl Popper, where he argued that a truly tolerant society must retain the right to deny tolerance to those who promote intolerance. That's what I am doing. That's what I'm suggesting we do. We deny him because he is intolerant. So this is the trick that some of the smarter right-wing people play. Well, you're not for free speech then, are you? You won't let the Nazis say anything they want. No, I won't let them say anything they want. They are intolerant. I will not tolerate that. Because if you let them, they will run over the entire game. I talked about this last week with the marketplace of ideas. If you think of the marketplace as an actual literal place that all the people are in, the fascists like him will build a pipe and inject raw sewage all day, every day into the marketplace. It won't be a marketplace anymore. It will be a sewer. And to get to the marketplace and talk to anybody in this wonderful marketplace of ideas, you'll have to wade through ankle-deep shit. And he will laugh as you do. Connor will clap gleefully while flinging shit around. He will throw turds at you and then say free speech, free speech, free speech, free speech as he kicks poop at you. Because he doesn't care. He doesn't respect anything. He wants poop flinging. That's what he wants. That's his goal. Destruction, nihilism, the void is his ultimate goal. You cannot let him have a voice. Popper posited that intolerant ideologies are allowed unchecked expression. They could exploit open society values to erode or destroy tolerance itself through authoritarian or oppressive practices. He talked about being an authoritarian. The paradox has been widely discussed within religion, ethics, and political philosophy, with varying views on how tolerant societies should respond to intolerant forces. John Rawls argued that just society should generally tolerate the intolerant, reserving self-preservation actions only when intolerance poses a concrete threat to liberty or stability. That's what fucking Donald Trump is doing right now. Donald Trump is a threat to liberty and stability. Which is why I speak out so much against him. He is the reason I started this little pissant fucking channel to begin with. He's a fascist, and I don't tolerate it. So that brings me to the bigger question about banning political movements. Should we be allowed legally to ban a Nazi party that were started up? I would hope that they wouldn't get that far. Should the government ban a Nazi party in the country? I say yes. But hopefully, best case scenario, there's not enough people willing to call themselves that to start a party. Ostracize them. Look at them. Fire them. Remember his face, as gross and ugly, wet diapery as it looks. We have to remember that he's there. Do not let him sneak his way in to power. Do not let him snake his way through society quietly, secretly, with his mask on until he wins and gets to the end and pops the mask off and says, "Surprise, secretly Hitler." This is a good one too. So this is a whole thing from something called Bad Faith Times, which I think is great. This is the Sartre quote. John Paul Sartre. He said this quote, and it's very good, and it absolutely applies to this. Never believe that the anti-Semites are completely unaware of the absurdity of their replies. He's talking about Connor. Never believe that guy is completely unaware of the absurdity of his replies. They know that their remarks are frivolous and open to challenge. That's why he was laughing and flinging poop everywhere, because he doesn't care. It doesn't matter if he's serious or not. But they are amusing themselves. He was definitely amusing himself. For it is their adversary who's obliged to use words responsibly. Mehdi Hassan is required to use his words properly. If he said anything that was out of line, if he said anything that was factually even close to being wrong, they would never let him live it down. And they would point to it as fake news, liberal liars. Since he believes in words, the anti-Semites have the right to play. They even like to play with discourse, for by giving ridiculous reasons, like the reasons we heard Connor give us a few minutes ago, they discredit the seriousness of their interlocutors. They delight in acting in bad faith, since they seek not to persuade by sound argument, but to intimidate and disconcert. That is what he wanted to do to Mehdi Hassan. He wanted to tell him, I'm a fascist. Doesn't that irritate you? I want a king. I hate the Constitution. Doesn't that intimidate and disconcert you? If you press them too closely, they will abruptly fall silent, loftily indicating that by some phrase that the time for argument has passed. That's what he was getting to with the so you concede kind of thing. So then this author, who's a very cool guy, we'll go up and look at his name here in just a minute. The right-wing attention hogs in Hassan's video tell him time and time again that they know he has to use his words responsibly because he believes that words matter. They seem to take pleasure in this because, as Sartre said a century ago, they can sit back and play. Sartre characterized anti-Semitism and fascism as direct products of revanchist petite bourgeois rage, white male rage, emanating from people who see themselves as the rightful inheritors of the nation, who deserve an eternal spot at the top of the hierarchy of oppression. This is what I was talking about with 1984 earlier. Connor doesn't want to be, he doesn't need the world to be perfect for him. He just needs everyone who isn't like him to be beneath him. He needs to be higher than them on the hierarchy of oppression. If they get beat down 10 times a day, he will get beat down 5 times a day. If the black people get beat down 6 times a day, he's fine with that. He just needs to be above them in the hierarchy of oppression. It is much easier to be a fascist than to be a decent person. Absolutely true. It's always easier to be bad and thoughtless than it is to be good and thoughtful. And that is unpleasant, but it is true. I say something similar to this when I talk about the reality tastes like shit. That's what I'm talking about. Being thoughtful and good is far more difficult. It tastes like shit. Fantasy is delicious. Bullshit is delicious. It's easy. It's everywhere. If you want to fill your brain with bullshit, you have an infinite number of choices. But reality, truth, that shit hurts. That is difficult. It is far more dangerous too. You can't just, you'll be led astray and then you'll be filled with a different kind of bullshit. It's very difficult. Watch Hassan work tirelessly to drive home his point and rattle off facts and wrap his arguments in historical context and rebut the bad faith of his rivals, and watch his guests spew reckless shit without care for what the shit actually means, the meaning it holds, its consequences, weight it carries. They are, as Sartre said, amusing themselves. It's one big joke, this fascist thing, and they're all in on it. So he's not doing this. Connor wasn't doing this to win an argument, but to fling shit at someone he hates. So that's what he did. He flung shit like an ape, like a monkey. He flings shit around. And if you let him into the marketplace of ideas, he will bring all that shit with him. And he'll fling it at you. He'll fling it at any good idea that you have. Good ideas don't need to be defended by the First Amendment. We all just think they're good ideas, and then we all get on board. The things that need the most First Amendment defense, the things that the First Amendment has to defend the most, are dipshits. Like Connor. He's allowed to go into the public space and say the shit he said. And we are allowed to say, I don't want to be near you. I don't want to employ you. I don't want to be in a space with you. Leave this space that we're in charge of. Get out of it. If he were in my chat right now, I would block him. If he were in my Discord, I might not. Now, that might sound crazy. Waldo, why wouldn't you block him on your Discord? There is somebody in the Discord right now who is a bit, argumentative with the other people that are in there. We need to know how to argue with these people in a decent, safe place. So that's why I wouldn't kick him out of my Discord. I'd kick him out of the live stream because I don't want him popping off and getting me removed for TOS violations. But I'd allow him in my Discord. And then you could punch him, metaphorically. You could build up your muscles punching him, metaphorically, in the Discord. You could do blood sports. You could fight him, in a debate, and you could either find and feel the futility of doing such a thing because he has no grounding, he has no ethics or guidelines, or you could get better at debating them, so that you can see them ahead of time, find out where they are ahead of time, and recognize them when you see them out in public. So, am I asking for Nazis to fill up my Discord? No, but if they're there, I won't kick you out because of it, unless you annoy me. There's only one rule in the Waldo Discord, and it's don't annoy me. There's the link.
Discord.
Go on over there. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're feeling. Fight with each other. Argue. Hone your skills. Hone your karate chop, kung fu, verbal judo skills within the Discord there. I would suggest you do it on Twitter, but Twitter is also owned by a Nazi, you see. So there are lots of Nazis on Twitter, and I don't want to give their owner, Elon, the Nazi, money. I think that would be morally incorrect of me, morally wrong of me. So I don't go to Twitter, and I don't suggest you go there either. And definitely never give them any money. Never give them any clicks. Never give them any ad reads. I only accidentally click on them every now and then when I'm bringing stuff up for stream because all the stupid damn reporters are still over there. If they just abandon that shit, Elon would go out of business. The board would kick him out. Someone else would take over. They would kick all the Nazis out. Then all the reporters could go back. CNN, are you listening? Are you tired of sharing Twitter with all those Nazis? Stop using it. Convince them to replace him on the board. He'll get replaced. They'll kick out all the Nazis. The ad revenue will come back. You can go back. We can all have the good Twitter again. It'll still have some Nazis, but it'll be all right. You can fight them. It'll be fun. You can learn how to be a better fighter. Metaphorically. All right, what else are we doing? We're going to check on good old Epstein. We're going to do the Epstein stuff, and then we'll come back for the Hunter Biden interview. So let's look at some Epstein stuff. Pow. Go.
And remember, don't let them forget, it's so important, Obama cheated on the election. Look, the camera just went off.
Look, the camera just went off. Oh, God. Don't talk about Epstein. Talk about Obama, God damn it. He's telling everybody, he's telling his fans, he's telling his friends, he's telling everybody in the government, he's telling everybody in the House, he's telling every Republican that exists, stop talking about Epstein and start talking about Obama. Since he cheated in the election. Horseshit. Nonsense.
Obama, the red light just went off. Can you believe these people, how bad they are?
First of all, he's still on camera, so not all the cameras went off. Second, if the camera did go off, it's because you're a gigantic, super fucking liar, and they don't want to spread your gigantic, super fucking lies. If the news media that lies to the people all the time decides to cut your camera because you're telling gigantic, world-shattering bullshit lies, maybe that's a you problem, not them. Maybe you're the one who ought to think about what they're saying, what you're doing, not them.
Obama cheated. When they give you all the nonsense, Obama cheated and his people cheated, but he was there. You ever hear this? They talk about if they...
How? Dude, you won. Jesus Christ, you won. How did they cheat?
Never even mention it. They never mention his name.
Because it's not real.
Just the opposite with me. But they only mention my name. They don't mention any of you guys. They don't mention Tom. They don't mention Steve. They don't mention our great speaker. They mention Trump all the time. I'd like to have them mention you. But remember this, Obama cheated on the election. And we have it cold, hard, blue, and it's getting even more so because this...
Cold, hard blue. I don't know. Cold, hard facts, maybe? Cold, hard blue. Cold, hard blue. You know, that old saying.
Stuff that's coming in is not even believable. So...
Oh, I agree. Donnie, it's not believable. That's why I don't believe it. He's a real piece of shit. What else do we have? So yeah, as the Epstein stuff continues and continues and continues and continues and continues to get worse and worse and worse for him, he's trying real hard to distract from that by saying Obama really loud a few times a day. So Trump's Epstein fiasco takes a darker turn as Dem senators drop new bomb. Ron Wyden has some ideas for Pam Bondi to pursue, if that is she's genuinely interested in getting to the bottom of the Epstein scandal. Now, most of this is blah, 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 junk, but we'll get to the good parts down here. Wyden suggests that DOJ prosecutors and FBI agents should immediately investigate the evidence contained in the Treasury Department's records on Epstein. Wyden's investigators know that these records, because his office has been examining Epstein Financial.
No one at work believes me.
What? Just blah, 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 blah. This is not important? Or giant super lies. Transactions for several years. So we have Treasury information, Treasury Department stuff.
Blaming
Obama. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that makes sense. If you lose something, it must have been Obama. You know, why is this report late? Well, Obama. And they're like, yeah, it makes sense. In February 2024, when Democrats control the Senate, Wyden's staff viewed in camera, that is privately, thousands of pages of Treasury files documenting those transactions. The review brought to Wyden's attention $1.5 billion in suspicious transactions flagged to Treasury by big banks. Banks, $1.5 billion in money owned by Jeffrey Epstein. How did he get it? Who gave it to him? Very easy to, not only are those very good questions, they're very easy to find. Money is so well documented that you can trace it, even through the Bitcoins. I know the Bitcoin boys will get mad and say their shit is untraceable. Not completely untraceable. It's a fucking distributed ledger. We can figure out who it was and what IP address it came from. So it's just harder than regular money. 1.5 billion for Jeffrey Epstein. I don't think he was in the crypto game. We can find out who gave him that money and where it came from and how much of it came from Donald Trump. So I bet it's not zero. I bet it's a bigger number than zero. Mr. Jonathan Ewing, fuck, I'm late. No, it's okay. We have not revealed who the new Joe Rogan of the left is yet. It's not Mehdi Hassan. It's not Jeffrey Epstein. It's not Donald Trump. But we're moving on still, and to find out who it is. Stay tuned. I'm going to tell you who it is, and you won't believe who it is. So yeah, Epstein. Let's keep going. So yeah, $1.5 billion. Find out who gave it to him and why. Find out who put it into his bank or wired it to him, and then put them in front of a camera and say, hey, why did you give that money to Jeffrey Epstein? And if you have a business reason for it, should be easy. You just answer and say, I did that. Here's the business deal that we did. I bought his car. I gave him money. He gave me a car. Here's the receipts. Here's the paperwork. That would be easy. And then you would be off the hook. You get to leave, unless there was kids in the car, but that doesn't sound likely. I mean, was he pulling an Overstock.com or whatever it was? Was it Waymo? Which tinfoil hat conspiracy theory was like selling children, but it was actually furniture? I don't remember. It was Waymo or some dumb shit like that. The name of the furniture on the Waymo website was like Ashley or something like that, and then they were like, that's a girl's name. They're selling people. No, it was never true. Anyway, you're off the track, Waldo. What are you doing? The hell's wrong with you? Let's see. Judge declines to release grand jury documents from the criminal probe into Jeffrey Epstein. See, Donnie said, immediately release this stuff. And then the judge is like, no, dude, that's like against the damn law. And then Donnie's going to be like, well, we tried. Can't have the stuff. Sorry, guys, you don't get that information. The judge, the Obama judge, some sort of liberal activist judge won't let you see all the evidence that the state collected in this private trial. But yeah, dude, they'd never give that out. That's dumb. If you knew how the law worked, you might have known that ahead of time before you promised everybody that you were going to do it. I promised to release that information. And then the judge is like, dude, that's illegal. I can't just give that information to you anytime you damn well ask for it. That's not how the law works. But honey doesn't know how the law works. He doesn't need to know how the law works. He can just tell you what the hell he wants you to hear at any given time and tell you that it's true. A Florida federal judge on Wednesday declined to release additional grand jury documents from the criminal investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, marking the first roadblock in the Justice Department's effort to quell the public backlash over handling the case. Judge Robin Roseberg said in her ruling that because the Justice Department had requested the sealed evidence be released due to extensive public interest and not as a judicial proceeding, the standard usually applied by judges in her case is hands are tied. So extensive public interest is not a good reason for her to change the law. Judicial proceeding is a reason for her to change the law because she is a judge who processes things. So if you want a judge to process things, you have to go through the judicial proceedings. This is real simple stuff that Donnie doesn't fucking get. Okay? He does not comprehend why the judges have all these processes, all these proceedings. What are they doing? Probably bullshit is what he's thinking. He just thinks that he should just say a thing and then all the judges snap to it and do the thing. He thinks he's a king. He doesn't recognize the difference between a king and a judiciary. He doesn't know that he's not the king. So he will cry and complain and say that he wanted to release this information, but now this activist liberal Marxist judge won't let him. And this is another bit of distraction that he will use to shit on this whole process. The House Oversight Committee issues subpoena for Ghislaine Maxwell. Epstein's convicted associate will be interviewed in a federal prison in August. Now, this is going to be a gigantic shit show. I made a short on the YouTube. You should go watch it. It's very exciting.
YouTube.
There's the link. But that, in the short, I said, I don't want Ghislaine Maxwell to testify. Waldo, why wouldn't you want her to testify? Well, because if she testifies, she will lie to whoever's in charge to reduce her sentence. Doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter what's true or what's not true. She will say whatever is necessary to get her sentence lowered. If a Democrat is in charge, they're not right now, but if they were, hypothetically, she would just tell them all the terrible things that Donald Trump did. And if a Republican is in charge, like Donald Trump right now, she won't tell you what he did wrong. She'll say that Hunter Biden was there with his dad, Joe Biden, and Bill Clinton himself, and she painted the painting of Bill Clinton in a dress wearing the red shoes. That's what she'll tell them. And then they will say that it's true and run with it. And then it becomes political fact. It's a gigantic super lie, and you could prove it lies, but it won't matter because Republicans don't want truth. They want their narrative. They want their talking points. And that's what they're going to get when they interview her in prison. Since it's not going to be on camera, probably, James Comer, the liar, the giant super right-wing piece of shit who lies to you all the time, will bring 2 or 3 or 4 of his friends and then like 1 or 2 token Dems or something like that. They will interview her probably, and I'm predicting and making guesses right now. I don't know any of this. No one said any of the details, but I assume these are what the details are going to be. Prognosticate with me, please. They will go to the jail. They will sit down with her. She's not a violent criminal, so they'll put her in a conference room. They will ask her a bunch of questions. They will write down the answers they like. They will not write down the answers that they don't like. No. James Comer will not say anything that he doesn't want the answer. He won't ask any question he doesn't want the answer to, and he will write down no answer that he doesn't appreciate. And then he will walk out of that jail. The cameras will be everywhere. There will be hundreds and hundreds of cameras pointed directly at his face, and he will look into them and tell you that Donald Trump is a saint. He has never done anything wrong, and he's never even met Jeffrey Epstein. The photos were all AI. He'll tell you whatever the fuck he wants to tell you, and that will become the narrative. That will become the truth. Won't matter that it's a giant super lie, and then Donald Trump will pardon her. And then she will get time off of her sentence. She will get commuted sentence, and she will be benefited from the lie that makes him seem better. The Democrat, or 2 that are allowed to come in there, will find a camera, and they will have to go second because they're always second. They want to be in second place all the time. That is what they want. The Democrat will go second and try not to implicate Bill Clinton. That's what they'll do. That's what the Dem will do in this situation, is try not to get the entire right wing pointing at them, screaming the name Bill Clinton. That's what the Dem will do. The Dem will say, we had a very interesting conversation. We saw the things that we saw. We will process this information. We will release the documents and the transcript that I've taken, and I'll let you know in some time in the near future if any of this is important. If we will fact check it. We will get back to you in a couple of weeks, and it won't matter because the lie has already gotten all the way around the world before the truth is putting their shoes on. That's the way the world works. This is what happened with the Mueller investigation. I don't know if you remember that, but Mueller did an investigation. He had 900 pages of documents that he gathered over a whole year. He put a whole bunch of people in jail for crimes they committed. And then the bottom line of his 900-page document was, yes, there was Russian collusion. Yes, Donald Trump colluded with Russia. I'm not going to hold him responsible for that. It's not my job. I'm not allowed to prosecute him for that. I can't bring criminal charges against the sitting president. Only the Congress can do that through impeachment. That was what he said to them. That's what he wrote down. That's not what he said. That's what he wrote down. And then he handed it to Bill Barr, and then Bill Barr ran to the TV and looked in the camera and said, Donald Trump is a saint and has never done anything. No collusion, no collusion, no collusion, no collusion, no collusion, no collusion. That is what he said into a camera. And then Fox News exploded. No collusion. We did it. We did it. We win. No collusion. Page 900 of the 900-page document said, yes, collusion. But they don't read. They don't care what the numbers say. They don't want to care what the reports are. They just need somebody in a suit to tell them what to think. And that's what we'll get with Ghislaine Maxwell. I know I went off on a tangent there, but what we will get with Ghislaine Maxwell is a Republican in a suit telling the people what to think. And then they will think it because they've been told to. Doesn't matter what's true. It doesn't matter what the evidence says. That's what they'll think. And that makes me sad. I wish they were better at thinking than that. But maybe this guy is good at thinking. Look at him. Look how majestic this guy is. Trump just lost one of his most famous followers, the QAnon shaman. If you've lost the QAnon shaman, Donnie, what do you have left, honestly? If you lose this guy, he won't celebrate you any longer. What do you even have anymore? Why even be the president if this guy isn't backing you up? Even Donald Trump's most sycophant followers are turning on the president. Jacob Chansley, better known as the QAnon shaman, denounced the MAGA leader Wednesday morning, responding to a post of Trump's 2023 mugshot by decrying the president as a fraud. Fuck this stupid piece of shit, Chansley wrote in a since deleted post that accrued more than 34,000 views. I wonder why he deleted it. Or maybe they deleted it. You're not allowed to badmouth Trump on Twitter anymore, so maybe that's what it was. Saying fuck Trump on Twitter is a TOS violation now, so that could be it. What else? Oh, Justice Department faces subpoena over Epstein files. This just happened a few minutes ago. The House Oversight Committee voted Wednesday to subpoena the Department of Justice to release the Epstein files. The motion passed by a vote of 8-2, notably 3 GOP lawmakers Nancy Mace, Scott Perry, Brian Jack joined with the Democrats. Okay, so Nancy Mace, the Nazi, voted to have this stuff released. That makes me feel a little bit better. Who voted against it? There were 2 Republicans who voted against it, but I wonder who they were. I don't know if it says. Regardless, this is, I don't know about this yet, face subpoena or Epstein files. So if they get everything, the only reason Nancy Mace would have voted for it is because she thinks she can control it. You know, she thinks that it's going to come out and look bad for Bill Clinton. That's what she wants more than anything in the world. That is what she wants. She doesn't care if it's true. She doesn't care what the, about helping the victims. She doesn't care about justice or righting the wrongs of the past. She wants to hurt Bill Clinton. Ooh, a robot. Let's ban the robot. I love banning robots. That's all I get over on Kick. There's robots. It's not a nice place, that Kick. It's very dangerous. You should be careful if you go over there. Or maybe you shouldn't go there. Maybe I should stop streaming there. But I've got 3 people that follow me over there. You know, KBP's over there often. And then the Tonys, the good Tony and evil Tony. I don't know if they're the same person, but they're both named Tony. One of them is cool. One of them is awful. And so I don't know. What the hell was I talking about? Let's watch a cool video. How about that? Pow. Cool video. Here we go. This is a few days old, but it's very cool. We gotta have sound. That's a rock. Rocks. Rocks. Busting their windows. They speed off. There's another one. And this guy wants to stop. Watch him. He's like, I'm stopping. And he's like, nope, more rocks. This is what happens when fascists stomp into neighborhoods and start blackbagging people. Not happy about it. The fascists didn't need to be there. The Gestapo did not have to go there. They could have said no to their superiors. They could have quit their job and not been in the Gestapo. They could do that. They could say, I do not want to work for the Gestapo anymore, and they could leave. Go find a different job. Plenty of police jobs left in the world that aren't Gestapo, that aren't the secret police, blackbagging people and sending them to concentration camps. You can stop doing that job at any time. ICE agents, stop doing it. You already have a mask. We don't know it was you. You can just leave, and no one will know you were there. Please, stop hurting people. Stop being the secret police. Stop harming innocent people. And the innocent people will stop throwing rocks at you. Seems like a fair trade to me. But the violence, Waldo, those aren't violent protesters. No, there's no such thing as a peaceful protest. They're all irritating and annoying to somebody. If you're blocking traffic, you're irritating somebody. If you're in a road, you're not supposed to be in the road. You're annoying somebody. If you're banging a drum, it's annoying the shit out of somebody. And it's okay. The Boston Tea Party was not a peaceful protest, but it's important. And we teach our children about it. Most people don't comprehend what the hell it is or why we teach them. And honestly, the school teachers probably only teach it today because the book tells them to. They don't know what it means or why we teach it or any of that shit. We've abandoned why a long time ago in this country. But some people remember why we do the things we do. And those are my favorite people. If you want to know why we do things, or you know why we do things, hop over to my YouTube channel. Come on over. The YouTube link is right there, and you can see it. You can go there. You can watch videos. You can tell me about it. You can press the subscribe button. You can break the thumb. You can smash the bell. You can spread some hate in the comment section because the YouTube algorithm is powered by hatred. So go there, spread some hate, tell some people who you hate. Doesn't matter who it is, honestly. If you hate the Renaissance painter Michelangelo, you can go into my comment section and talk about how much you hate Michelangelo. That will get me more numbers. Stupid as that sounds, it's true. You can go start an entire flame war between Michelangelo, the Renaissance painter, and Leonardo, the Ninja Turtle. Honestly, go there, start a fight between these two people. Who would win? Who's a better painter? Who's a better ninja? Who's a better fighter? Who's got the better name? You can do whatever you want in there, and it'll make my numbers go up because the YouTube algorithm is powered by hatred. Let's see. What else do we have to talk about today? Oh, yeah. Okay. I've teased you long enough. Let's close some of these tabs. Don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. And I don't need that. Closing all of these tabs. And then we're going to look at the Joe Rogan of the left. Oh, have we found him? Was it Mehdi Hassan? No. Was it Joe Rogan? No. Was it that guy throwing rocks? Maybe. I haven't seen his podcast yet, but I'm sure it's out. It's coming out next month, I'm sure. The Rock Thrower podcast with Billy Rock Thrower, and it'll be a good time. And then I'll watch it, and we'll have a goof, and he'll just throw a rock at something every episode. Thank you, Dad. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. I kept you waiting long enough. Here we go. Who is going to be the Joe Rogan of the left? You're not going to believe me, and you're going to want to disagree with me right off the bat when I tell you his name, and you're going to say, whoa, Waldo, no, that's gone too far. But it is actually, not joking, not kidding, Hunter Biden. Flame me if you want. We're going to watch the Hunter Biden interview, and I'm going to tell you that he could be an amazing force for the side of good. He really could. I took some notes. I watched this whole thing. That is Mr. Callahan. He is a very cool cat. He is in the running, but he's second place to me for
HSWP.
The guy on the left is Andrew Callahan. He is, at least I think his name is Andrew. He runs Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan. Yeah. It's right there. You should watch his stuff. He's very good at what he does. He interviews people and stuff like that. So he might be the Joe Rogan of the left, but he interviewed his own replacement. He interviewed Hunter Biden. This is the number 2 most important person on the left interviewing the number 1 most important person on the left. Let's hear what they have to say. So we're not going to watch the whole thing because then I would get copyright striked. But you should go to Channel 5 with Andrew Callahan and watch this entire thing. It's 3 hours and 16 minutes. I watched all of it. Okay. It's very long. It's very good. You know who else talks into a camera for 3 hours a time? Joe Rogan. I'm on to something here. Okay. Let's hear what he has to say. So I have some timestamps. I wrote them down. I took notes. At 30 minutes, he starts dropping F-bombs. So about 30 minutes in, Hunter stops being a nice, polite person and starts dropping F-bombs.
No, not, it wasn't as linear as that. And so with me, what ended up happening was when my brother was dying, he was dying in a very slow but certain way because he had glioblastoma, multiform stage 4 cancer, which basically you have a 2% survival rate. And even that 2%, your chances of being fully intact physically and mentally are, basically 0.2% of people survive without, their life, but almost a 98% certainty that you're not going to live outside of 2 years.
I started this too soon.
And so my brother never wanted to really know those numbers. And so I remember, I haven't read all of the book, but the people have given me little synopsis of like this guy, Alex Thompson, who no reason anybody would know who the hell Alex Thompson is. He has this...
Nobody would ever know who Alex Thompson is. Fuck you, Alex Thompson.
This whole thing I understand in which he says like the Bidens covered up Bo's cancer diagnosis. And I feel like saying, what the fuck are you talking about, man? You get a terminal diagnosis, okay? What do? Do you accept it, go home and die? Or do you say, I'm not dying. I'm going to be part of that 2%. I sit down.
He's popping off at his the guy who wrote a mean book about him and his family. So then we're going to jump ahead to 103. 103 when he starts popping off with the woke ass history.
Hold on to that because it still makes a lie. I don't believe in conspiracy theories in the sense of I don't believe that the government has the capacity to carry out a conspiracy, a secret plan. It's all in the open, man. There's no conspiracy behind what ICE agents are doing in the streets of Los Angeles, right now, or by the...
He's right. There's no conspiracy. They're doing it right there where you can see it.
Way in the streets of Detroit or Chicago or Philadelphia or Tampa or whatever the hell they are, is that they're openly terrorizing people for the purpose of scaring the shit out of them. People look at this moment in time and they get this impression. I used to think it was hyperbole. I'm not so sure now. And the comparisons to 1930s and 1939 and 1932. And
he's talking about me comparing what's happening now to Nazis, but he's going to disagree with me slightly.
Crystal Knock, and this is the time, and are we before this, are we after this? And I look at what we're going through right now as more associated with a moment in our own history, which was Reconstruction.
You're talking about, for reference, after the Civil War.
Yes, from 1865 to 1877. What people don't understand about Reconstruction is that we just fought the Civil War. All of the freedoms which the Constitution guaranteed was guaranteed for black citizens that had just
woke, giving black people rights.
Been released from slavery. And people think there was this great migration, it all fell apart. The black population, because of the weight of slavery or whatever other excuse you want to make, kind of fell into this communities of poverty and disenfranchisement and blah, 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 blah. Total bullshit. Yeah. Between 1865 and 1877, the South Carolina state legislature was a majority.
It's mostly black people, you know? They were doing well after the Civil War.
Black.
I was going to say the state senate that was, I think at the time based in Charleston, was almost all black.
Yeah, all black. And on top of that, because by the way, it's a vast majority African-American state after the Civil War in South Carolina. You know, and by the way, which was where the first slaves were delivered in the 1600s, right there in Charleston. And so what happened after the Civil War? This amazing thing, this amazing renaissance. These people that jumped in, that had been in slavery for over 200 years. These communities are thriving. And then you have in, what was it, Colfax, Louisiana.
Is that where the first Klan started?
Not where the first Klan started, but the first major lynching occurred in the sense of this, is that you had in Colfax, Louisiana, you had black lawmakers that had gone in to secure the vote in this little town in the courthouse. And white supremacists surrounded the courthouse and they rolled up a cannon and they said, we're going to kill all of you unless you come out and give up.
See, he's doing the Joe Rogan thing. You guys are enthralled by this. Oh my. I love listening to this. So, so he's popping off with the woke ass history. Then at 118, he starts talking about Steve Bannon. And I thought that was a good one. Good bit we should listen to.
You have Steve Bannon. If you want to understand what the intellectual direction of what we'll call it the MAGA movement is, just listen to Steve Bannon. He spells it out. He says flat out. He says that he's going to bring the war that they've known for a long time, that if the war for the United States of America is going to be won on the streets of Los Angeles. Steve Bannon flat out said that, you know what we're going to do? Before the election was even over, he said that we're going to contest the election. We're going to say that the mail-in ballots were fraudulent, and we're going to contest the election, and we're going to go as far as we can, and we're going to break the institution as much as we possibly can.
Almost 100% believe strongly that the 2020 election was stolen. And
They believe that, Steve Bannon, because you told them ahead of time. Steve Bannon is a terrible piece of shit, and Hunter's right here. This is correct. This is actually looking at what's happening and analyzing it and recognizing what's going on. Steve Bannon, if Trump loses, he will tell you that it was rigged. He told you ahead of time, he told you beforehand that it was going to be rigged. And then when he lost, he said it was rigged. All these people believe it was rigged because you told them that, Steve. You told them that it was.
We're not going to allow this to be stolen in the canvassing room.
And we'll break the courts, and we will break Congress, and we will break the Constitution.
It's exactly what's happening right now. Hunter's on fire, y'all. He's great. Look at this guy. Then at 128, we get about the laptop. Let's go over to 128 for the laptop.
That they're talking about. Do you know?
Well, I know that you, your entire iCloud was connected to it. All of your personal text messages, private photos, all that kind of stuff.
Like everybody's laptop.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you left it with a repair shop owner who, for some reason...
Tell me this motherfucker is trustworthy. Boss, if that guy on screen right now tells you anything about politics, are you going to believe it? Are you going to listen to that guy? I'm ugly. I get it. But that motherfucker, look at that fucking guy.
Gave it to Rudy Giuliani. Not exactly sure how that's legal. He distributed it to the press, particularly I think the New York Post was involved in the spearheading of this mass dissemination of your private materials. From what it seemed like, it was a lot of private text between you and your friends, family. Your entire sort of private life was on there.
Yeah. And again, so everybody has a laptop. Everybody has a cloud.
I'm assuming not.
No. Not everybody has a laptop. Everybody has a digital life. Almost everybody has a digital life. Everybody has a digital life, pretty much. And that includes voicemails and pictures and text messages and...
Skipping to the important
person
part.
who offered those allegations for falsifying his testimony to the FBI.
For over a 10-year period of time, I worked with a group of people that had a cross-border private equity firm inside of China, and I had a business that was based around advisory for multinational global funds, private equity funds, doing infrastructure work and others. And I was asked to join a fund, the startup inside of China that was had a headquarters in Beijing, Shanghai, Hong Kong, and New York. And I had a 10% equity stake in that, of which I paid.
I thought he was going to talk about the investigations. I might have done bad on the
equity contribution in that, just like every other member of that.
Federal officials are looking at his foreign business dealings, including his ties to a Chinese energy company.
And those are my two foreign business dealings.
Yeah, because I was kind of looking into it, and it seems like the conspiracy is that through those connections that you had to these, I guess, foreign governments, they were using you to leverage pressure onto your dad somehow.
Like what?
Well, that's the thing.
Well, that's I'm going to deviate from him right now. That's why they hired him. That he didn't get that job because he's the most qualified. He didn't get there because of his merits. He got there because the businesses want him to convince his dad that they're a good business. You know, it gives credence to the business being a very important person. If your board of directors has well-known famous politicians on it, it's a more important business, isn't it? It's more valuable. The investors will feel good. And if the investors feel good, then the stock price goes up. Because the stock market is based on feelings, not numbers, not math, not product, not supply and demands. No. Feelings. The entire economy is based on feelings. I wish it weren't. We could base it on math. We could, but we don't. No, we don't. We base it on investor feelings. And that's what he's talking about. And that's why is he the beneficiary of cronyism? Yes, he is. He was always going to be. There's no way around it. There's no way for him not to be.
Is it when you're looking
I'm not putting you on the spot. And I guess my whole point is that I asked these same questions to the House Oversight Committee. I've been investigated by the House Oversight Committee, the House Ways and Means Committee, the House Judiciary Committee, the Senate Judiciary Committee, the Senate Oversight Committee, and I have been investigated by Maine Justice, the U.S. Attorney in Pittsburgh, the U.S. Attorney in Philadelphia, the U.S. Attorney in District of Columbia, the U.S. Attorney in Los Angeles, the U.S. Attorney of Delaware, the Special Counsel's Office. Not one single person has ever...
That's 12 different government entities that have investigated him. They still haven't gotten him on bribery because it didn't happen. You get investigated by 12 of those agencies that he just listed off there, and they can't find any crimes except for the two that he has been found guilty of, which is a tax crime, which he did by accident while he was on drugs, and then he got better, and then he said, I didn't pay my taxes while I was spending those years on a bender. Guess I better pay them. He got an accountant. He paid them with interest and back pay and extra fines and shit. So he did that. That's done. It's over with. And the gun charge, which again, it was while he was on drugs and not of sound mind, and that he's been he did get pardoned by Joe Biden. Why did Joe Biden do that? I think he did do it on purpose because Donald Trump was going to win. Well, because Donald Trump won and was going to prosecute Hunter for 1,000 things that they just made up. If Kamala had won, Joe would not have pardoned Hunter Biden and his gun possession. He wouldn't. Because Kamala is not going to make up fucking fake charges and scream about them and try and prosecute him. Donald will. Donald Trump is a petty, vengeful piece of shit who's blaming Obama today for cheating at an election that Donald won. What's he going to do if Hunter Biden wasn't pardoned? He would make up some new crimes. He would just invent some shit. He'd make up some shit and then prosecute him for it. Because that's what a fascist authoritarian does. They make shit up about their enemies, and then they have the state attack them. So I think that Joe Biden's pardon of him was necessary because we elected a fascist. So don't elect fascists, and Hunter wouldn't have been pardoned. And then what else we got? We got some more stuff. He starts popping off again at 220. 220.
Has in 8 years since Lyndon B. Johnson.
He's just spent the past 20 minutes talking up his dad and his dad's run for president, why he shouldn't have stepped down. I called for Joe Biden to step down. I called for him to promise only one. I wanted him to only run once. I didn't even want him to run the first time. But I much would have preferred Bernie. But Joe Biden won the primary, so I wanted him to do only one term and then promise us only one term and then get a regular primary.
Including the Investment Reduction Act, the Recovery Act, including the PACT Act, which was troops health care, the first gun legislation that has been passed in a generation, and the list goes on and on. And he came off of that, and for some reason, the intelligentsia of the Democratic Party, with 20/20 hindsight, believes that Joe Biden should have considered not running again because of their perception that he was too old.
It was my perception too. I shared that perception. I looked at him. I listened to him talk. I thought he was too old. In 2016, I thought he was too old.
And so then the drumbeat began. And the New York Post the New York Times, on a near daily basis, egged on by the Pod Save America saviors of the Democratic Party, with four white millionaires that are dining out on their association with Barack Obama from 16 years ago, living in Beverly fucking Hills, telling the rest of the world what black voters in South Carolina really want.
That's the kind of shit I'm talking about, man. That's why he could be the Joe Rogan of the left. Calling out other people who talk into a camera for fucking money. It's fantastic. He could do that. It would be good to watch. It would be fun. It would shake up the left. They would have actual debate instead of everybody trying to get along with each other. It might be fun to watch. He's calling out the Pod Save guys who are very rich and very successful. And usually I like their stuff. But if they tell, and he's right, they do spend a lot of time telling you what black voters in South Carolina think. It's that demographic bullshit that Democrats do. They don't try to change your mind. I'm trying to change your mind. I am trying right now to reach out to people who are maybe listening and give them a good idea. That is what I want to do. I want to change your mind. I don't want to create a demographic box and then tell you how that demographic box tends to vote and then try and convince that demographic box to vote for the guy I want to win. That's what the Pod Save guys are doing. That's what the Dems usually do. They don't change people's minds anymore. They label all the people, put them into boxes, and then call it a demographic, and then try and get that demographic to vote for them. That's how Democrats play the game. It's a dumb way to play the game. They should play it differently. It's losing. It worked in 2000. It worked in 2000. It did not work in 2000. It's never fucking worked. Maybe it's never worked. I don't think it's ever worked. I don't know. I'll have to look through history to find out if it worked, but I don't think it has ever worked. And then I think he pops off some more at about 2:33. He keeps going.
Or what the women in the waitress living outside of Green Bay, Wisconsin really believes. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, I can't believe that we do this over and over again.
Yeah.
Or
that's what I'm talking about.
Rahm Emanuel is going to run for president. What a fucking, David Axelrod's going to run his campaign for him. That's like, oh boy, there's the answer.
Pop off,
there's
King.
The fucking answer.
Get him.
Geniuses all. You know,
get him, Hunter.
All of the things that they've won. You remember this, is that everybody talks about Joe Biden now as if he was somehow the choice of the Democratic Party. Bullshit. We lost Iowa. We lost New Hampshire. We came in second in Nevada. David Plouffe and David Axelrod went on TV. They said that there's no way Joe Biden can get the nomination, not a chance in the world. Mike Bloomberg is going to crush him in California. Elizabeth Warren's going to beat him in Massachusetts. There's going to get wiped out in Texas. He doesn't have the money to run. A lot of rural voters said, fuck you, we love Joe. A lot of urban.
And see, he's not wrong. What's next? 2:35. He pops off about Jake Tapper, and I'm here for it. Fuck Jake Tapper.
Transgender is as I am, but and I know that he also is not going to do. He's not going to beat the shit out of my kid if I decide to let my kid be transgender. But he's going to say, I don't get it. Like, explain it to me. You know what I mean? Like, explain it to me. That's who he is. He's the guy that's going to be asked in an interview when he was vice president, well, what do you think about marriage between a man and a man? And he's going to say, I think love is love. Doesn't mean that he has to necessarily understand it, but all he knows is his own personal experience. But he wasn't shoving it down your throat, like George Clooney shoving it down your fucking throat.
Also, I know you're a man of peace now.
Who says that?
See, he could do it.
If you did see Jake Tapper, would it be time for a little bit of a schoolyard fight?
Look, man, I mean this sincerely. It's almost not worth commenting on it because he's completely irrelevant. And I really mean this, who's Jake Tapper's audience? Jake Tapper?
My mom or something? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. For real, though. I don't even think it's your mom anymore.
No.
By the numbers, what influence does Jake Tapper have over anything? He has the smallest audience on cable news. And beyond that, I think that the book is right now on the Amazon that he put out. I mean, his ratings just went to shit after he put the book out. They did a 2-week infomercial for it. I mean, it was such a money grab, such a disservice to everybody that he serves with, that the journalism that he purports to take part in, and he's very personal. He has a real problem with me. He does this whole rant about how I was the acting chief of staff and that I took control of the White House and I orchestrated this cover-up of my dad's health and well-being at the same time as who would ever trust a person like me that was a crack addict that got their sister-in-law addicted to crack cocaine, things that he has no notion of or idea about in personal, like, Jesus Christ, Jake, grow the fuck up.
Well, a lot of these.
See, this guy could be great. God. And he would piss off all the right people. All the people who have been hating on him for years would continue to hate on him. And it would be fantastic. It would be so much fun to watch. I would love for him to get like a regular, maybe even monthly, maybe every 2 or 3 weeks, he pops out another podcast. Good Lord. The right would explode. They would go absolutely ape shit. They wouldn't have time to talk about Donnie's latest stunt. They wouldn't have time to talk about anything else. They would just scream about whatever Hunter said recently. My light fell down and it's making me look silly. They would just scream about whatever Hunter said last. It would be so much fun. It would be so good that it's kind of a honeypot, kind of a trap for the right wing. We could have Hunter come on and talking to a camera and talking to a microphone. I can set it up. I'm sure he can. Once a week or so. And then he would just say, fuck this guy, fuck that guy. What the fuck is this guy? I fucking know. And then Sean Hannity wouldn't have time to brainwash his viewers. They wouldn't have as much time for repeating Donald Trump's latest bullshit lie about Obama or about the Epstein files. And then the right wing would go nuts for it. They might just get so distracted, so distraught, so angry, so frothing at the mouth, hateful. Anytime they hear the name Hunter Biden, they start frothing at the mouth with anger, hatred, and just absolute disgust. Because they've been taught to do that. They've been told that is how they should react. And so they do, because a man in a suit told them how to feel. And it was hate Hunter Biden. And we need to harness that for something positive. We need to control these, I'm going to say it, beasts. We need to control the beasts and give them something to sink their teeth into. And when they listen to him, they would feel better. I'm telling you, man, the way he talks, right-wing people, if they were listening to him talk, instead of just screeching so that they couldn't hear anything, because that's what happens. If a right-wing person watched this, that's what I think. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll find some right-wing reactions to Hunter Biden's interview. If they see him, they just start screeching at the top of their lungs. So if he says anything logical or consistent or correct, they don't hear it because of the screeching, you see, or you hear, actually. So they don't know what he's ever said. They just screech a lot. So maybe they could just screech more. as he comes on TV every week, as he comes on the podcast every week, and then just screech at each other, and then their talking points will be drowned in a sea of screeching. Maybe. Or maybe I'm being a crazy person. But that is my call, my guess, my suggestion for our new Joe Rogan of the left. Hunter Biden. Not even kidding. He could interview people. They would come to his place. He would talk to them. He would tell you what he thinks of these things. He clearly understands the politics. He just rattled off a whole bunch of it off the top of his head about the primaries and stuff like that. He understands all the things. He's met all the people. He knows how the game is played. He needs a job, probably. And it would piss off all the right people. I think we could do it. I think this is a good idea, and that's what I'm calling for. He is the new Joe Rogan of the left. If you agree with me or not, that's okay. You're allowed to. Go on over to the Discord. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what you're feeling. There is the link right there. There's the Discord.
Discorfed.
That is also an option. Discord. There's the right one. No, Discorfed is a different website. So, what time is it? It is 8:46. So yeah, I'm done for tonight. I appreciate everyone who's here. Thank you for coming in. All of these lovely people who came in and started chatting. I appreciate you. I love you. I thank you. And I will be back on Saturday. Here's the YouTube link. So there's the YouTube link. Go on over there. Give it a thumbs up. Give it a follow. Give it a like. All that fun stuff. Watch the latest video. Watch the latest short. All that fun stuff. And then, or you can watch this entire thing if you missed any of it. Like Mr. Jonathan Ewing says he did. He missed some of it. And so he can go to the live tab on the YouTube and watch it all there. It's a very fun time. Or you can watch the trimmed down versions that I put up on as videos. And I'll turn the Mehdi Hassan video into a video tomorrow, probably, maybe Friday. I don't know. Editing is hard and tiring, and editor Waldo hates me. So yeah, that is it for me tonight. I will be back on Saturday, unless the Gestapo kicks in my door and drags me off to the gulag, which they might. I mean, it is getting closer and closer every day, right? So that is it. Good night.